Hi there. As a farmer, you're probably very keen on improving your decision making, and that's an area that I've done quite a lot of study on. And of course, perhaps as a student of farm management, you're simply very interested in knowing the ins and outs of making good decisions. Well, if you take a whole bunch of farmers, you'll find that some are very good at making decisions, others not quite so good. We've studied all this and tried to work out what are the components of making good decisions. The first thing we discovered is that the farmer generally makes decisions through intuition. So they don't sit down and research every little decision and write it all down. It's usually just a matter of using your experience and knowledge and your thinking abilities to come up with a good intuitive decision. And it's for that reason that we've studied what makes a good intuition decision, what are the components of intuition, in order to try and see how we can interest farmers in improving the decision making and the steps involved in improving that intuitive decision making. The data from farmers does show the enormous variation in the ability to make good decisions. And also, of course, the other thing, in judging whether a farmer is good or bad, we have to realise that not all farmers have the same objectives. Indeed, probably each farmer and their family situation has a unique set of objectives, and it's that which we must use in trying to decide what are the good aspects of successful decision making. Now, as a result of all this research, it's obviously important to try and get farmers to record and note the different outcomes from different decision systems. And so in order to get this through, I've put together a book called The Interpretive Decision Making, designed for farmers to read and learn about improving the decision making, and similarly for students of farm management. The book is about a group of farmers that come together and controlled by or overseen by a group of professionals in order to examine all the decisions they make and see how they might improve their decisions. The book is a series of chapters. Each one is about another meeting of the farmers, and in particular, one particular farmer's decision problem. So they sit down and they take that farmer's decision problem, something that perhaps he's thinking about or something that he's done, and try and see what the outcomes were and how good that decision were. And then they decide to analyse how that decision was made. And through this process, they go through a whole range of typical decisions that farmers are faced with and come up with conclusions about the best way to tackle each of those problems. Besides this other group of farmers, there's a further group of farmers that weren't exposed to this experience of meeting and discussing all the decisions, and that's the group that act as a control group, a comparison group, to see how much the farmers meeting improves their decision making. At the end chapters of the book go through and summarise all the typical decision problem areas and review what are the best ways to tackle each of those decisions. Now, this book is in fact a story, a novel about all these farmers, but the results and things they discuss is based on all the research that's been carried out into the farmer decision making and the discovery that most farmers do in fact make decisions via intuition. So you might find this book particularly useful if you're keen on trying to improve your decision making. And one of the important aspects of good farming is the good farmers tend to have a particular outlook on life, particular psyche, which suited to making good decisions. And this is discussed and covered within the book. So As author of this book, I hope you find it of interest and, more importantly, very useful to you. Good luck with your learning and your decision making.